Now, getting in the front end of this Explorer, I do want to point out on this active trim that we are not getting body colored painted side mirrors. So they are in this kind of cheaper-ish black plastic. There's also no turn signal repeater on here, and they are not power folding. There's also an interesting angle to them that I think while driving is a little bit disorienting, so I wish they could be like forced down a little bit, but that's just one thing I noticed. We do have blind spot though, thankfully, and keyless access. You can also get the touchpad if you do want to option that in. Opening up this interior, again, really nice materials we're having even on this active trim. And let's hop into this cabin space here, because this is pretty nice of an upgrade, I think, for the Ford Explorer. So this is Ford's new digital experience interior. This is one of the first Ford products to get this outside of the all-new Lincoln Aviator, which is rebranded as the Lincoln Experience. But as you can see here, we have really nice displays, and they're fully lit up right now. Let's turn on the vehicle here. Comes to life pretty quickly, and I have to say, all's been working quite well. So up front on our steering wheel front, we have this nice stitching over here. I wish they could change these buttons. Everything on the steering wheel I think is perfectly fine. Just these buttons just remind me of older Ford products. I think they could have redesigned this for this 2025 facelift, but nonetheless, they do work pretty fine. We have all of our adaptive cruise control, lane keeping systems on this hand, which work fantastically, and this isn't even the ones with the Blue Cruise, which you can option as well. Volume controls and all of our menu controls over here for our digital cluster, which has plenty of screens to cycle through and lots of different fun things we can do. We can even pull up a full map on here with off-road status, configurable views, driver assistance views. Here's check out this map view right here, which also works with Apple Maps as well as with the built-in standard Google Maps. So lots of different views you can kind of select from in here, which I quite like. We do have automatic high beams as well, which is a nice touch. And we also have a drive mode selector down here in the center console area, which is going to give up a whole bunch of different drive modes. So I like to drive in eco most of the time to get the most efficiency out of this thing. But we also do have a sport mode, which pipes in some fake engine noise. You can hear that there. We also are getting a tow haul mode as well as a normal, slippery, and off-road mode. So lots of different modes. They all have their own little graphics with them as well. So I think that's a pretty cool touch. Nice visual change for this new digital cluster here. Really like what's going on there. Very quick, very high resolution, and that's also same to be said about this touchscreen here in the center console. This is running that back-end Google style based software, and honestly, it's been really good. Everything's super quick to touch. But off the bat, there's some issues I think some people are going to have. All of the climate controls are now baked into the screen, which some manufacturers do this in a nice, simple way. This is a little bit confusing sometimes. You do have your temperature controls right here, which is pretty easy to access, and you can kind of swipe it up to either link it or change your temperature control. But to get into your menu here, to kind of move around all of your fan directions, you have to kind of either tap through these different areas, or you can kind of press the buttons on the side here. It's going to give you a visual of what's happening, but you do have to go through all these menus to change these different functions, or just leave it in auto and let the car kind of figure out what you want to set the different fan speeds and climate to. Thankfully, we do have dedicated buttons here for our heated steering wheel and seats. We even have automatic heated seats for the driver and passenger, and if you're in the Platinum, you're going to get ventilated and massaging seats as well, which is a nice touch. But this whole redesigned center console space over here is really one of my favorite touches of this entire interior. The dash materials have been incredibly improved. We have this like soft cloth style material over here, which turns into like a Bang & Olufsen speaker when you option that one in. Nice Explorer logo in there. All this material, it is plastic, but it feels quite nice and very well put together. I think Ford spent a lot of time on quality in this vehicle to make sure there were no issues. Even this whole floating center console piece over here, which can have a wireless charger as option, this one does not have that. Feels very nice and solid. Same thing goes with this little storage cubby down here, which opens up to reveal some USB-C ports, a 12-volt socket, and again, this actually sounds quite nice as well. We still have this rotary style shifter over here, which I think works fine. Pretty solidly built as well. Electronic park and brake, and of course we saw our drive mode selector from before. Some more storage over here. Open up this nicely padded center armrest, and that reveals even more storage and more USB-C ports in there. So we have 2 more USB-C ports and a cable routing notch right there. So lots of charging solutions here in the 2025 Explorer. So that's one of the main things they did focus on as well. Some hard buttons down here. So we have a volume knob as well as the auto stop start switch, parking sensors for the rear parking sensors, and we only have a reversing camera on this one, but you can get a 360 panoramic camera, as well as auto brake hold. Of course, we have a nice locking glove box, which is pretty sizable as well. So decent amount of space and storage going on here. Now, I would like to see the panoramic sunroof option. It's around $1,400, which for some reason this one does not have, but you're still getting quite a lot of stuff in this vehicle. And just diving into this new infotainment system here, it is very different than the previous Explorers. So you have your home screen style layout here. You're going to see your Google Maps, your driving profiles, your phone, and whatever's playing on your audio right there, pretty much at all times. Go to these quick vehicle settings here. You can kind of change some other very basic information here, and then you can go right into the endless amount of settings, from your sound settings, Bluetooth settings, all of your driver assistance settings, because you're getting so many driver assistance safety features with this 2025 Explorer, even just as standard. And we also have system settings over there, updates, and all that wonderful stuff. So, and as you can see, the response time and the just fluidity of the screen is very, very quick. And since it is that Google-based software, you're getting all these other fun things. You can have Cisco WebEx meetings on here if you do need to. You can open YouTube, browse YouTube while you're parked, and kind of see what's happening on there. It's a full YouTube browser on there, which I think is pretty cool. We also have Google News, Alexa, and games. So yes, this can connect a controller, and you can literally play games that are built for this vehicle on here. So I guess this makes a little bit more sense in a vehicle like the Mustang Mach-E, where you can charge, but you know, if you're on a road trip, you're at a rest stop and your kids are bored, whip out the controllers and they can play some Asphalt Nitro 2, for example. And it honestly is loading pretty decently quick, even with the cellular connection. Pretty cool stuff you can do on the infotainment system of this all-new Ford Explorer with the Ford digital experience. And going out into our menu, we can see we have Sirius, all those other basic things. And let's just open Google Maps really quick to get an example of how big it displays on the screen over here. Really nice fluid display, incredibly quick animations. Scroll to zoom works really nice. I don't know, it's just a really impressive system. The only issues I've had this week have been some Apple CarPlay connectivity problems, but I think that's just a general issue with wireless Apple CarPlay across a few different vehicles. So that's something to be expected, but it kind of fixed itself and it hasn't really happened again. Otherwise, really impressed with the upgrades in this interior. This is a really well thought out revision and quality improvement and general technology improvement of the Ford Explorer. And it's definitely caught up and beyond of the times now. And I have to say, these seats are so comfortable. They feel like a couch. They have incredibly wide amount of support over here. So lots of bolstering, but it's wide enough to really fit anyone. So I really wouldn't be concerned getting into this seat. If you are a little bit on the smaller side, it might be too big of a seat, actually. So you might want to look at some other vehicles. I like this contrasting patterns over here. So we have this nice same soft touch cloth material that we saw up here on the dash on the seat, and that's blended in with the seats. The passenger seat does not get full controls of this driver's seat, so you do get lumbar and some power controls, but I get a little bit more of some thigh adjustment, which is a nice touch there. Upgrade to the platinum trims and the higher ST trims, you're definitely going to get some more support there for the passenger. But again, otherwise, really nice stuff going on here on the 2025 Explorer. Now let's see how easy it is to get into the third row of this 2025 Explorer. Nice wide door opening on the second row, which really enables you to get in pretty easily. We have a small step over here, and all you have to do is pull this one lever on the seat, and it should run and fold back, leaving you a little bit of some space to squeeze in. But let's go check out what's happening back there. Now stepping into the third row, let's hop inside. Now, as a 6 foot tall adult, this probably is not going to be the biggest third row that you're gonna want to put adults in. So when I put this seat back, I don't think I can put it back all the way, as I think I'm gonna get stuck back here, but it is definitely a little bit cramped. As I mentioned before, I have a cup holder back here, some storage cubbies on the side, even up here, but this passenger side does get 2 USB-C ports, which is a nice touch. And of course, we have our roof-mounted air vents, so you do have some ventilation back here, though without this panoramic sunroof option, it's a little bit dark in this cabin, and even with these side windows over here, I still feel a little bit claustrophobic and cramped in this third row. These rows can be moved up just a little bit, but I don't think as an adult I'd want to spend too much time back here. That would be my space for this second row. So let's go have a look at that now. And getting into the second row is pretty easy. We can shut the doors up. Nice solid thunk there. And here we have plenty of glass space to view out of, as well as some really nice accents and trim on this door panel over here. Everything feels very quite solid for once. I think they did a good job on this interior refresh. Again, we have our air vents located up here, and we have our climate controls located down in the center console area over here to control our fan speed and temperature, as well as direction, which is pretty nice. We're also getting a 12-volt socket back here and 2 USB-C ports as well. So lots of USB-C ports in this cabin for charging. Nice rubberized floor mat on this one, which is covering the entire floor. And thankfully, Ford was able to keep this center hump not too big, so it's really not going to hurt second row passenger space. We have a storage cubby in the back of the driver and passenger seat, which is a pretty nice touch, and cup holders right in the door as well, which is pretty nice, and even more space down here. We can also fold down this center console space to reveal 2 more cup holders, so we have plenty of those in our 2025 Explorer. Nice design on these seats. This is not leather, it's just like active text faux leather material, which actually feels quite nice. We can adjust these seats for the second row, so we can slide them forward and backwards. We also do have a reclining function as well, so I can recline pretty far back and forward as well, which is a pretty nice touch. You can see the difference right here, how much of that recline can really affect your space here. But it seems that this second piece doesn't typically move, so sitting in there as a 6-foot tall passenger, honestly not too bad. This car is so wide, you really have a lot of space for all passengers in this vehicle, so you really can fit 5 adults in here if you do have to, which could potentially happen. So honestly, not too bad in the rear space here. Now, opening up the rear tailgate here, we have a little button here. Of course, we can also use our key fob to open this up, and we have quite a large amount of space. Now, you're also going to notice that the third row is up right now. In total, you're going to around 18-ish cubic feet of storage capacity in your Explorer, and there's a lot of different ways you can use the storage in the Explorer. We have these nice side cubbies back here, which is really nice. We can also open up this floor area over here to reveal a little bit more of storage underneath this nice felt lined cargo dividing floor. And if we do need to fold these seats down, it is a full manual operation, but it isn't that too difficult of a process. Pull these latches down and we will see the rear headrests go down, which is a nice touch in the third row on both ends, and they should pop right down for you. If not, pull it again, it seems to go down, and that's going to unlock a lot more cargo space if you're not going to be using that third row. That's also revealing all the amenities those third row passengers are getting, from their cup holders to a little bit of some storage capacity, though it does not appear we're getting any sort of dedicated charging points for the driver's side, but the passenger side is getting 2 USB-C ports, which is a pretty nice touch. And of course, those awesome air vents mounted in the roof.